Hello, welcome to All right, I'm back. I do not know what's going on, so sorry about that, everybody. My internet was slacking, so I need to fix that. But I am back, and I am talking about Self Sundays. It's Talking with Tiffynee. I have a special guest, a dear friend of mine, Yvonne Brown, and I will be welcoming her to the stage right now. Let's give her a warm Talking with Tiffynee warm of applause. Hello, how
Hey,
are
how
you?
are you?
I am
It is
doing
so good to see you. I feel like we haven't done this whole sharing the screen thing in quite a while.
absolutely. Absolutely. You're right, because you've
It's
been
great.
MIA. You've done
I
the
have.
Kylie Jenner thing.
This is true. Yes, it's been a task, okay?
I love it
Uh,
though. Can you tell everybody about yourself?
so my name is Yvonne. I'm from California, but I live here in Atlanta. I would call myself a tribe builder, and I just don't call myself that. I am. I have a few different. I definitely now I can call myself a mompreneur, or what is it? It's I don't even know how to say it because I'm not a mom yet, but I'm going to be a mom. So I have so many, I wear so many different hats and I'm good at all of them. Some people maybe can only wear one, but I could wear probably all 25 and you wouldn't know I'm sweating or nervous. So so that is me. Yeah, and I love what I do and I love usually the people that I bring on and it's always a good result at the end. So yeah.
You're absolutely right. So today we are talking about self-ignorance, and a lot of us deal with that, and a lot of people
Yeah.
hear the word ignorance and don't necessarily know what it means. So it is lacking knowledge of something. And so self ignorance is lacking knowledge of oneself. So
Correct.
this conversation is really a truth conversation because me and Iban have both been through this where we have lacked knowledge of what truly we are about and the things that we don't necessarily know about ourselves. What do you think uh, you can admit to that you lack knowledge about yourself?
Um, you know,
Or that you've
I
been that has
forgot.
been revealed to you, like through your revelation, have you been
Yes,
like, oh, that's true.
yes. I would actually have to say um that I have an anger problem. Yeah. Um, I would say that's what it is. And I was ignorant to this because I was unaware of my trigger points, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm such a great person, which I am. I'm so calm, and then next thing you know, I'm going Medea on somebody, gun included. So like 0 to 100 real quick, y'all. And I would have to say that's, for me, that's what it is. Um, it would have to be anger. Something I didn't know that I was aware that I had so much built up inside of me. I didn't realize my trigger points. I didn't know why I was so angry. I didn't understand how someone like me can have so much anger because I give so much. I'm such a sweet person to everyone. I'm loving. I mean, I love animals and kids. Like I have this whole list of greatness, but anger was something that came out usually in relationships
Mm.
that I think that's why I was always so shocked about it, is because it wasn't something that I happened with my friends, right? It wasn't something that when I would drink with my friends that would come out, or if I'm just out having a good time. It happened in relationships, and when it happened, it wasn't just something small. It was something big where you're like, was that me? Or am I tripping? Maybe that was somebody else. And it could be drunk or sober that I would get very um, angry. And that's when I think I realized how ignorant I was to
Ooh.
how quick um, we forget that there are things that are in us that if you are unaware of it, you can't fix it, right?
Ah.
You just keep making the same mistakes over and over. And I'm wondering why I'm single. Right? So for me, that's what I would say. Yes.
Wow, that's good. And a lot of people don't realize is that anger is the bully and the speaker of the group of emotions, right?
Yes.
So all the other emotions tell anger how they're feeling. I'm feeling sad, or that person made me feel bad, or that person beat me up, or that person, and then anger's like, "What's up, man?" And then
Exactly.
it just comes out. So
It just comes out.
it's funny that if you don't recognize that, and if you don't identify who's the leader and the speaker of the group of your emotions, right? And that's
Right.
so good that you lack that you understand that you lack that knowledge about yourself, because you are a very kind person. And you would probably be like, me mean? What?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And stuff like that. And
Exactly.
I realized the knowledge I lacked about myself is that I don't like to be hurt, and when I become hurt, I become vindictive.
Mm,
And
yes.
even in a vindictive spirit of not even like where I'm going to get you back. I might um I might not be there for you when you need something. Like I know that I can help you through that. So when I realized about myself, and then I had to tear it down, because I was like, okay, I'm vindictive. I don't like that because I don't like to be hurt. And then I don't
Right.
understand why people don't take help, right?
Exactly.
The
Hmm.
Bible says it's better two are better than one, but yet you
Yes.
have so many people that would love to struggle alone. And
Exactly.
so
This is so true.
I never understood that,
I
because I
gotta
was like,
stop really
well,
quick.
why do I feel that way? Why do I now want to hurt this person because they don't want help? And I had to understand that I was ignorant to that. I was ignorant
Right.
to that about myself, and not even recognizing that, because I am like you, nice, I'm kind, I'm happy,
Right.
and stuff. But then I'm like, I don't like to be hurt. And when I get hurt, what do I do to protect myself? You know?
Exactly.
Um, and it's so funny because when you place the mirror in front of your face, a lot of
Hmm.
us look in the mirror, like both of us look gorgeous today. And we see
Thank
this
you.
positive, radiant, like,
Right. Right.
I'm so beautiful. But if
Hmm.
you take the filter off of that and you remove that, the filter can distort your reality. So,
Exactly.
what do you let the filter cover up about your reality?
Well, with, aside from the anger part, that was something that I didn't have a filter on. And the reason why I didn't have a filter on it to cover it up because I didn't know that I had it. So
Mm.
that one I can't even actually say that I had a filter on it. So I can't actually use that as an example or to this question. But something that I actually do have a filter on that I cover up, I think. That's a good question, and I forgot my paper downstairs. I'm trying to think. Probably a lot of people think that I have a large group of friends.
Mhm.
that I'm always hanging around, that, I'm always this partier out, just doing all these different things. And I'm okay with that filter because that filter brings me a lot of clients, to be honest. And it's good for business. But
Right.
the reality is, I'm not. Like, I like to be at home. I'm a homebody. I'm really close with only a small group of women. But I allow the filter to cover up my reality because it is a part of me, and it's a part that I just want you to see. It's always like when people say, "You have no idea who I am. You don't know me. You just know what I want you to see," right? So I want you to see that. It sells my brand, which it sells a part of me that I want to sell, right? So that's what I would feel about that question, is that it's that I have a large group of friends, that I'm a partier and all these different things, but that is just that's not the reality. It's a filter.
Right. That's good. I use in the book Sis Is It You about how we use a Snapchat filter.
Hmm.
And we've gotten so comfortable that as soon as you go in there, you immediately swipe to get something that makes you look better than what you see right there.
Exactly.
And a lot of us have gotten so comfortable in a
Hmm.
Snapchat filter, right?
Yes.
That seeing yourself in the mirror, you don't even really pay much attention to it anymore, because the mirror is what really shows who you are. And as you get
Exactly.
closer to it, it starts to reveal things that you may not want to see. And
Hmm.
for me, the filter life has always been like not even covering up when I'm sick.
Right.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, she doesn't. How can she have congestive heart failure?" Well, it's like it's a filter. It's literally like, "Hi, how are you doing?"
Exactly.
Oh my god, I'm hurting so bad right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I've gotten so used to that. But really, what it's done is it's created a facade for people to necessarily not be able to feel like we have something in common, right? Because
Right.
it looks like I'm like, oh my god, I'm so joyful, I'm overcome, I'm so pretty, right?
Right.
Just like the filter. You see all these
Hmm.
Snapchat filters. I was going through my Instagram, and I have to say, sometimes I'm pretty disappointed in myself about how many filters I use on pictures that I post when that's not really
Uh-huh.
me.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Because then I go back and you look at it, and you're looking, but you're really posting the picture for others,
Uh-huh.
to because it's not really for you, because when you look at it, you're not really as satisfied with it as you think you are. And that's what I
Right.
think about how about ignorance, about lacking knowledge about oneself. If you're always covering something up, right?
Hmm.
um it's hard to kind of recognize, like, oh my god, this doesn't really exist. I actually have a blemish, like,
Right.
actually, oh my God, that's a blackhead, right? Like, and you're
Exactly.
missing out on things that you could be correcting or fixing because you're so comfortable in the filtered life. Um,
Exactly.
I remember when we all used to have MySpace, and
Hmm.
MySpace did not have the filters. All you could do was decorate your page,
Right.
and see what that, and have people judge you off of that, like you only got real pictures. So what do you not filter but you decorate?
Um, how that was a hard one for me. I'm trying to think. What do I not filter but I decorate? Um, geez, I would probably have to say um my smile. And that might be kind of,
That's good though.
because I over the years my teeth have shifted and they're crooked on the bottom. And on some of my pictures, if you look closely, this tooth is pushed forward, right? I no longer filter it, but I decorate it and I wear different lipsticks that I know make it look like whiter, right? Or I know which way I want to take my pictures now. So when I smile, you can't see that this tooth is pushed out a little further, right?
Mm.
So I've created, or sometime when I'm talking, you can't even notice it because now I've decorated how to speak so that you can't see my bottom row or that you can't tell that my front tooth is pushed out. So I may not use the full filter, but I definitely didn't put a whole bunch of whistles and bells and some Christmas decorations. So you can't tell that that my teeth are no longer perfect like they used to be. You know, that was one thing that people used to always tell me is like, you have such a beautiful smile. And what's the crazy part is right now my dentist office calls me probably about every other week because I have a lot of money that I have actually for my dental that's separate from the insurance, and they're just like, why don't you just come and get your teeth fixed? And I'm like, I don't know, right? I mean, now it's because I'm pregnant and I can't do some of the things that I need to do, but it also brings you time, brings you into us being ignorant to certain things, of me not knowing that me having a toothache and certain things with my mouth also has to do something with getting oxygen to your brain, with also different things that happens within your body, right? We don't understand that, so I'm just walking around like, oh, I'm fine, I'm still cute. In reality, I'm setting my own self up for failure. So
Ooh.
that's what I look good now at 35, but a few years from now I might not be the same person just based off of me um not having the knowledge and not really understanding how important it is to go to the dentist,
Yeah.
right? Because I've decorated it so well that now I feel like I don't even need to go, right?
Mm, that's
So
good.
it's it's one of those things that once you understand and you have the knowledge, I told myself as soon as I drop this baby, I'm gonna go get my teeth done. But until then, I can still get the cleanings. I started flossing again, which my then roommate, Vanessa, would floss every night, and I used to be like, "Girl, I don't have the time. I'll just use some mouthwash, okay? I'm going to bed." And I hear her in there flossing. Whole time, I'm like, I should do that, but I'm gonna use the picks instead. Sorry, did I lose you?
Yeah, you're good.
Are you there?
I can hear you
Oh,
now. Can you hear me?
okay, there we are. Can you still hear me? So I've got into flossing, which definitely helps that, right? It stops the bleeding and it's a whole list of things. So to answer your question, I would definitely say it would have to be my smile.
I like that you said that because a lot of people, me, I can take something and teach a lesson. Uh, it's
I
interesting.
can't hear you.
You
I
can't
don't
hear me?
know what happened.
Let's see.
Let
You
me
can't hear me.
see. Can you see and hear?
I'm gonna remove you from the studio real quick and then come bring you back in. All right, 1 second, guys.
No, I still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? She popped out for a second. Let's see if you get back her in. Can you hear me
There we
now?
go. Yes, sorry about that.
I
So
was gonna,
that's how I would answer
you're
your
fine.
question.
I was gonna say that it's good. I said, I always teach a lesson off of what I can teach from an analogy or something from what somebody said. And it's interesting that you said that you decorate your smile. And I feel like a lot of us decorate ourselves in words and in trying to like degrees and things that we close and all kinds of things that
Right.
we try to decorate ourselves. So it's not even a filter anymore. It's a decoration and it's only to try
Exactly.
to make yourself look better. And you said that you've even trained yourself to turn a certain way or, you know,
Yeah.
um, and we talk about this in society, how people will talk differently when they're with somebody else and act a different way instead of just being authentic and being
Right.
yourself. Because hilariously, I have seen your smile and never have thought, oh my God, she should get her teeth fixed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is that we take a step back and we have to realize like, okay, self-ignorance can also lie in the things that we put on ourselves, not the things that people put on us.
Exactly. This is very true.
or the things that we pick up. And so we pick
Mhm.
up things and like to decorate ourselves, and then we wonder why, like you said earlier, like why I don't have a man, why am I single, right? But it's
Exactly.
like, because when you get in a relationship and you start to have to actually, in a relationship, you have to actually take those things off, and those are the people that see you for who you truly are. And
Exactly.
and if you lack knowledge of oneself and you've sold an idea to someone else and it's not really
Mhm.
the truth, you are tricking them. And then now they're upset with you
Exactly.
because they're like, hey, who is this? We don't
Exactly.
even know this person.
They
Um,
was just as scared as look. They're as scared as you. They don't know, right?
like, who did I marry? Wait, who did I
Like,
marry? You
and
know?
you're confused. Like, I don't know who this person is,
Right.
right?
I'm like, you tricked me. I've been there before where it's like you've tricked me, but then it's also like I tricked myself because whoever I there were times in my relationship that I had started to be something that I didn't want to be. And
Right.
so that became with the decoration. It what the
Exactly.
filters weren't even out then. It was the
Hmm.
decoration, is what can I put on myself to make myself fluff myself up better. Um
Exactly.
and what really came to be true and to be my true calling is for me to just be true to myself and
Hmm.
to be completely authentic without any of the decoration, to be fully naked and vulnerable, and to just be like, this is me, take it or leave
Exactly.
it, you know, and this is
Hmm.
me with the crooked tooth. This is me. I just got my teeth fixed
Right.
this summer, and I never realized, like, I came so conscious about these two teeth that were like you, I
Hmm.
was fixing my smile and like, hey, can you whiten this, or
Right.
hey, and not
Hmm.
really recognizing, like, what does that have to do with what I do to people's hearts?
Exactly.
Yes, I do need to fix it. And I think that was, I love that at the end you said, yeah, the dentist called and was like, hey, you have all this, why are you not coming? And it's just like
Right.
all the tools and resources about yourself. God's like, hey, I have all this knowledge about you because I created
Right.
you. All you have to do is
Hmm.
come ask me, but it's you that decides to live in self ignorance. It's you that
Exactly.
decides to say, ah, I'll pass on that. I'll pass on that
Right.
information. And so, just a question: when's the last time you called yourself out on some shit that you're like, you know what, you have no, this is who you are, and that is not.
Actually, just recently, I um, it was actually very recent. Um, to be honest with you, I call myself out pretty often because I am such a strong individual, and I say what I mean and I mean what I say. So when I say something, usually I'm saying it because I know it's right. I know I can back it up. Like, if you don't like it, it is what it is. Like, I'm trying not to hurt your feelings, but I'm gonna be real with you. But you also have to understand that not everybody comes from the same background as you. Not everybody has the same culture, right? So since I've grown in a lot of different areas, my baby's dad is Nigerian, and he had made a comment that I didn't like. And I instantly was irritated. I felt some type of way. Okay. I'm still working on my anger, y'all. I didn't say it was fixed. I just said now I know. Okay. So I just
This is
didn't
not
like
the
it.
episode that's coming in a few weeks. Self correction.
Right, exactly. But I think he saw my reaction, he automatically said, in my country, your mother and my mother would take care of you and the child. I work and I'm doing other stuff, right? But to me, I'm American. So I'm like, you can help me with these things. I want you to do this, and this, right? And he's like, that's not how it works. So with him correcting me within those minutes or seconds, made me look at other things that I hadn't checked myself on or that I didn't even realize because I didn't put it into perspective, right? I instantly jumped to, the negative. I instantly jumped to, see, this is what I'm talking about and I'm good where I'm at, right? So it actually helped me check myself on other arguments that we've probably had. Um, Other times I was being one-sided on
Mm,
things that he needed from me, but I was like, what? I'm American, not Nigerian. Okay? We don't do that here in America, right? I was so quick to defend what my culture and how I grew up that I didn't even take time to listen to him,
mm.
right? I didn't take time to consider what his culture was. And in the meantime, I don't even know my culture. I'm just black from Oakland, right? So I'm just making up stuff in my head, y'all, right? So I'm like, wow, this is so cool because he is Nigerian and he has all these different things, things or stuff that I've never even heard of, right? Because I don't have that kind of a culture, right? We got sideshows and eating Mexican food at midnight with drive-bys here and there and a whole bunch of different stuff in Oakland. Those ain't really cultures, okay? That's not a culture, right? So
That's good
it took
though.
me a minute to really process that. And at the time when it happened, I was actually in the hospital because something is going on with my heart that I had to be hospitalized for a few days. So after he said it, I had time to sit in the hospital and think about it. They have old school TV. It
Don't you like how
wasn't
God
nothing in
comes
there,
to you? How he has to sit you down and be like, all right, let me
right?
see something.
There was, my phone was barely working. So I couldn't call, my bestie or my mom and be like, this, gonna tell me, right? I had to really process it. And I checked myself. I
Mm.
apologized and let them know, hey, you were right. Where do we go now? What would you like me to do? Right? How do we better this so that I can better understand you? Let's always do this now that if I say something to you that you feel as if I didn't mean in that way, just ask me so I can explain it
Oh,
to you, right?
yeah.
And then I'll do the same to you because we are from two different countries. We are from two different, completely different world cultures and everything. But also, it let me understand other people as well. Because
Mm.
just because we're from two different countries doesn't mean I can't use this with my sister or with my friends. That sometimes we interpret things completely different than what people are actually meaning them as. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
So your self-ignorance moment was you don't really listen. Well, we discovered that
well,
this
I
morning.
ain't gonna say it, but if that's what you want to say, I feel like I listen just fine. Okay, but
I mean,
yes, right.
it's so funny though. Like this morning, I had a moment. I had a moment this morning, self
Uh-huh.
ignorance, and I have been not pleased with some people in my life, and
Mhm.
God was like, you never pray for them though,
Ah,
and I was like, He's like, yeah, when you're upset with people, you don't pray for them because you don't feel like they deserve your prayer because you know your prayers are strong.
huh.
And I was like, oh my God, you're so right.
Why, was I one of those people? Because I feel like I didn't miss a few prayers.
Um, it's funny though because you don't even think about it like that. I wasn't even looking at it. You'll somebody will offend you or not even offend you, but
Yeah,
do something and you don't pray for them. You're just like, forget them, F
right.
you and stuff like that. And I've gotten into a habit of that where it's just like, well, if you don't want to, if you don't, if we're in something anyways, it's clearly you don't want my prayer. And that was my
Exactly.
mindset. And God was showing me, He's like, they don't even know that they need your prayer,
Exactly.
but you
Hmm.
know it. And so it was like I was so ignorant to that because I was just like, I didn't know that knowledge about myself. I didn't know that, oh, your prayers are so powerful, but yet you're selective how you use them,
Right. Hmm.
And so that was my self ignorance moment because I was just like, wow, I think I'm so kind and giving. He was like, yeah, but you're stingy with your prayers.
Mm.
And it was a slap in the face. And so my last question to you is, How do you exercise the power to choose self-knowledge over self-ignorance?
Um, I would have to say with the anger, now that I'm aware, um, when I even feel myself um, getting upset or getting in a mood, it's kind of a weird thing. I instantly think, if my mom and my dad was standing right here, would I talk to you that way? No, because I would feel like I'm disrespecting them, right? I wouldn't be cursing. I wouldn't be um talking to you in that tone because I put my parents on such of a pedestal that I respect them in the way because I know how they raised me, right? So that's one of the things that I do is I think of my parents. It's the same difference that my mom and my dad used to say. If you can't, if you're doing something that you are ashamed of, or if you're doing something that you can't do around us, then you shouldn't be doing it, right? That means you're ashamed of it. So why are you doing it in the first place? So when I start to feel myself being super angry, that's one of the things that I think about. Like, is it something really that important? Like, is it really that big that I need to get all worked up about? But also, I do go to therapy. I do make sure that I'm meditating.
Mm,
And whether it's, everybody meditates different. Sometimes mine is in the morning before I get up. Sometimes it's in the bed when I'm laying down so that when I wake up, I'm refreshed because I've listened to this meditation. And sometimes it's simply walking it off. Sometimes I just have to say, I need to walk away, like I need to walk away. Um, but if I didn't know where I lacked in the ignorance that I had with inside me of not knowing my triggers and not knowing what I need to say to myself, um, I wouldn't been able to put those tools in place to get to where I am now,
mm,
which I'm still working on, by the way. Um, but those are just simple things that I do to help me better myself because that's the only way. You're not doing it for anybody else, you're doing it for yourself. And
right.
now that I am gonna becoming a mom, you know that's one thing that I didn't see really with my parents growing up is really them being angry or arguing or cursing or any of those things. So now I'm like, I gotta fix myself because I'm having a child. I don't want to have to censor myself around my kid. I want to be the woman that I know that I am,
Mm,
and whatever this demon that has came along the way of my life of growing, growing into an adult, I want to stop them where it's at because I'm 35 now and I still got time. And now that I'm having a baby, I don't want to carry this into my 50s
oh,
or my
yes.
60s or even into next year,
Yeah.
right? I want to stop it now and try to get a hold of it, um, so that I can still build relationships. Because some of my relationships that I've broken along the way have been some that needed to go where they went, and some of them have been amended because I realized where I was wrong and where that person was wrong, and even the relationships that I had that we separated because of my anger. We are now friends,
Mm,
right? That we can say, I'm sorry and I apologize for the way I acted. I didn't know who I was then, and I know now, and I apologize for the way I reacted and things that I said, right? And if you want to ask me anything or talk about something, we can still do it because I've grown from it and I've fixed it and got it together and still pray about it that hey, I'm okay with answering your questions to help you get to help your anger or whatever you had issues with.
right.
So that's how I would that's what I feel as if I have the power of what I've exercised that power within me to be able to fix,
That's good.
those issues.
I for me to choose self-knowledge over ignorance, which is lack of knowledge, everyone, I seek knowledge about myself. I'm always seeking something. And when I
Mhm,
feel something that's uncomfortable to me, or even when I feel something that's amazing to me, I'm seeking why.
mhm,
Because if I find the root of it, I can replant it or pull it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And so
Mhm.
sometimes good fruit you'll want to replant, bad fruit you'll want to pull up and you'll want to deweed. And
Exactly.
so for me, I'm always in a sense of a gardening mode where I'm
Hmm.
trying to garden my soil so I can understand and know my soil. Because a lot of times
Right.
we will plant something in a garden in ourselves and we'll walk
Hmm.
away. And yeah, you won't learn anything about the garden if you don't pay attention to it.
Right. If you're
And
not watering
right.
it, you're
And
giving this plant five glasses of water a day, and it actually don't need no water. It needs to be sitting by the sun.
right. You know, I have
Right.
a self-watering episode coming out, and
Uh,
I'm having a special guest for that one in January, and it's going to be amazing because it talks about what you do to self-water yourself. But it's
mhm.
really about right now, our conversation is we're the gardeners and we're gardening our soil and we're looking after it and we're trying to figure out how did this plant survive and how did this one, and
Right.
because the plants are different and learning about them, and that's how you choose self-knowledge over ignorance. You have to work, and that's what exercise
Exactly.
is, working and
Hmm.
figuring out that. um Wrapping up, what is your biggest sis is it you moment, and how have you been able to handle it?
Ooh, we. Um, my biggest sis is it you moment, I would have to say, um, geez, would probably be me over loving people.
Mm.
And it's not their fault. It's who I am, right? That I give when people aren't even asking for it. I'm helping when they already got 10 hands, right? Um, that in relationships and friendships, some people don't know how to take that. A, because they probably never grew up with the parents that gave it to them. They've had bad friends, so they don't understand why I'm being so nice or why I'm, like, girl, I got it. We good. Like, they aren't able to accept it. And when people don't know how to accept something, they turn away from it,
Mm.
right?
Absolutely.
So usually with me, I keep going. I'm like, oh, it's fine, whatever, that I finally had to realize, like, it's me, it's not them. Like, of course they gonna run. They be like, this girl is crazy, right? And in reality, it's okay for you to be who you are and to give people whatever you feel as if you feel like you want best for them. But you also have to make sure that person is ready to receive it. Because if not, you're wasting your time and your energy. And then you're going to feel like you did nothing, which in reality, the reason why you are like this with open hands is to help that person, whether it's for a day off, whether it's they don't have the funds to pay for the drinks and you got it, or whether it's you're in a relationship and you cooking every day and he's like, I eat lunch at 4, I don't need you to make dinner for me at 5:30. Like, you just tired your own self out. So really it brings it back to listening and being able to step back and reevaluate your situations and your friendships and your families, because at the end of the day, I can be like this all day and people will take it, but they don't appreciate it like the way you're giving it,
Yeah.
right?
And you have to
So
be able
that's
to give
why.
it to somebody for them to be able to
Exactly.
appreciate it. Yeah.
So, a lot of the times I would be hurting myself because I'm like, well, dang, I they said they were doing a party and I went and got a party planner so they didn't have to do all of this. And then I helped the party planner and then now I'm doing the party. And I'm like, dang, why are you acting like you're not happy about it? And they were like, oh, I was.
Mhm.
Right. So, and I mean, those are, that's just something that I know that I struggle with because I am such of a giver and it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I'm like, oh, it's fine. If I can afford it, you can afford it. We got it. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll come over and babysit the kids today. You know,
Right.
mind you, I'm probably taking off work or stopping something I'm doing, but just realizing when you have to step back and just allow people to come to you, right? And the ones that do need your extended help, you'll notice it and you'll know the right time.
Right. And like
So,
you said, I think your biggest thing is discernment, is trying to understand when God is actually telling you to do something and when an Ebon is trying to do
exactly.
something, right?
Facts. This
Um,
is true.
and
I'm
so,
not listening, y'all. Bottom line, she said it earlier. I'm working on myself.
but you know what's so funny about that? And as we close, a sis is at you moment is for me is not being able to receive things. And ever since I've met you, you've been. It's funny because God has showed me, like, I placed her in your life for a reason. You're not only is she going to be pouring into you, going to be pouring into her, and they're going to be different types of oil.
Mm.
And so, and when I had to learn that, because me and you, a lot of people, our relationship has been not bad, but we've went through things where it was like, hey,
Right.
we need to talk. Hey, this needs to happen. Hey, let's figure
Exactly.
this out. And it's so funny because each time you were drawn, and I remember there's one time, a lot of people did not know this. My child was in the hospital. She was sick. We thought she was going to die. And Iban found out. She lied to me. She said that she was sending flowers. She actually flew in for a day to meet us at the house to bring us dinner. And here, let me be honest, this shit was so crazy. I was kind of scared to eat it because I was like, is she trying to kill me? Because I haven't talked in a while, right? But it was her discernment and me not realizing God had sent her. And I didn't know how to accept that. And to be honest with you, Bon, I wasn't as happy about it when it first happened because I wasn't in a receive mode because I was also struggling with something. And
Right.
and to see it now, and not only just to see that, all the things that you've done for me and my family, I honor you.
Oh, thank you.
Because what you don't understand is that a lot of people wish for people like you in their lives.
Oh,
And you're
thank
not
you.
perfect.
Right.
And for me to put that expectation on you early on when you're still learning yourself and I'm learning myself, I honor you for being an amazing person. And I ask you to guard that because God didn't give that to you just to give out freely. He gave that to you for you to be a blessing to others that know that it's giving Him the glory in it. So I am so honored that you are my guest today. Can you please tell people
Yes.
how to get in contact with you?
Oh, yes. Thank you for having me. This was such of a great experience. Definitely I need to brush up on my interviewing skills. I'm like, dang, this show is fire. I'm stealing some stuff off of here. So if y'all see it on my show, I stole it, okay?
Yeah, I just inspired you. I was inspired by others.
But yes, you can find me on Instagram as ebon.brown. Also the same thing on Facebook. Uh, that's pretty much me. You can find me also on YouTube under the same name, which is the Ebon Show. It's not that much on there, but you can still follow me. I'm gonna update it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I appreciate everybody that is gonna see this interview. I'm so proud of you for even starting this. I'm so proud of your book that you wrote. I definitely have already gave some of them away.
Yes, you
Honestly,
did.
I haven't started it yet because I was in a weird place in my life that I wasn't ready for it,
But
but
you
I'm
bought
ready for it now. I did. I bought six.
you bought like 6 books and sent them to people and stuff. And I still have to write a special card and resend them to people because she asked me for something. But Yvonne bought
Yes.
6 books and they are $45, guys. And
Yes.
she really believed in her friends for her friends to do the
Yes.
change and stuff. And I really thank you for even believing in me. And Steven's on here.
Of
Hey, Steven,
course.
Andrew, people on here for believing in me because I didn't want to do this. This isn't something I wanted to do. I was really trying to steer away from this. And all you guys said, oh, keep doing it. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing this?
Yes.
So I appreciate my tribe. I appreciate my fighters that fight for my dream, even though when I don't have it and I don't know what it looks like. And I
Mhm.
appreciate people like you guys. So it's amazing. And thank you. And you didn't steal anything from me. You're being inspired because you inspired me. I went to your page. You don't know this. And I swiped through and I looked at the consistency of how you showed up every Tuesday. And then
Thank
there
you.
were Tuesdays that you were like, I don't have a guest. Tiffany, can you come on? I'm like, okay, yeah. And
Right.
it's stuff like that. And it's just like it's showing up and it's consistency. And that I lack that knowledge about myself, about not being consistent and stuff. And so I really appreciate you and all that you do and all that you have in you and all that you're going to give to the world. And I love you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next week, talking with Tiffany on Self Sundays. And next week is self deception. Do you be lying to yourself?
Yes.
All righty. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you for having